What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. In today's video, we're going to take a break from the Summer League coverage to talk about why I believe that Jaden Ivey is going to have a huge breakout year in his third year in the NBA this upcoming season. Now, a lot of fans are very split on this, and I just want to make it very clear on how I feel about Jaden Ivey in this video. So I'll be going over 5 factors why I believe that Jaden Ivey is absolutely ready to have a huge step forward as an NBA player this season. And I think by the end of the year, you will not be hearing big portions of the fan base talking about we should trade Ivey. So to hop right into it, I think one of the biggest factors that will prime Jaden Ivey for a breakout season is the hiring of Fred Vincent. So Fred Vincent, of course, just got hired on as a Pistons assistant and developmental coach. He is known for his ability to fix jump shots. He is a quote-unquote jump shot doctor. And when everyone talks about Fred Vincent with the Pistons, they always talk about Asar Thompson and Ron Holland. Asar Thompson, of course, was like 14% from three or 18% from three last year. Ron Holland was like 24% from three in the G League last year. So everybody talks about the potential of him being able to turn those guys into decent shooters. But the thing about this is with Jaden Ivey as of right now is just a slightly below average shooter. And if through the development from Fred Vincent, he can become an above average shooter, that changes his game entirely. In his rookie year, he shot 34% from three on almost 5 attempts a game. And last year, he shot 33% from three on also almost 5 attempts a game. Jaden Ivey's shooting is historically very, very streaky. If you look at his month by month, you'll see that he's had months in the NBA where he shot 40% from three, and he's had months in the NBA where he shot 28% from three. If Fred Vincent is able to hypothetically increase that percentage and help Jaden Ivey work on his shot to get there to say 37 or 38%, just slightly above league average, not only will more of those shots drop, which of course is a good thing, it's going to open up his game in a lot of ways. Teams won't be able to go under screens when he's the lead ball handler anymore. And the thing about it is if they have to close out harder on Jaden Ivey on the three-point line and get a hand up and get a hand out when he's looking to shoot, Jaden Ivey has the burst to eat those closeouts for dinner. He can just drive right past almost anybody in the league as is. And if they have to play higher up on him and give more attention to him at the three-point line, it's just going to open up the floor for him in a whole different way that could lead to him being able to score more efficiently from three and at the rim. So the second reason is also coaching related, and the last reason that will be coaching related, and that is just the fact that JB Bickerstaff is going to be the head coach going forward, because it's no secret there was some sort of weird thing going on between him and Monty. Maybe not like a personal thing, but the realistic thing is Monty yanked his role around a lot in his sophomore year. There were games where Jaden Ivey was getting 12 minutes or 14 minutes when he was fully healthy, and he just didn't seem to want to play him much on any given night. There was a few games where he was the 11th man. He was the 6th guy off the Pistons bench, which I think we can all agree on, even the biggest Ivy haters, that's just too small of a role for him. And then randomly, even 3 or 4 games after some of these games, he would play 38 minutes and be the team's leading scorer. So it was just a super inconsistent role for Jaden Ivey last year, where on any given week, you didn't know if Monty was going to utilize him or not. It was just all over the place. And I just don't think that'll be the case under JB Bickerstaff. Matter of fact, I don't think that would be the case under any other NBA coach. There was just something weird going on there. Monty didn't seem to be his biggest fan, which led to him having a different role every month, and that's just not good for a young player. It's hard for them to get comfortable in those types of situations, and I just don't think that that'll be the case going forward. So the third reason is huge improvements are possible on defense. Now, a lot of the people who talked about Monty not giving Jaden Ivey a lot of minutes last year would bring up his defense and say Jaden Ivey, needs to be able to guard if he wants to get minutes. And the thing is, it didn't seem to really be the same case for guys like Cade and Jalen Duren when they had down defensive games or weeks. But nevertheless, Jaden Ivey has tools to be a very, very good defender. And I think that a lot of it comes down to feel and things like that that can be improved on. Just a few defensive lapses here and there is kind of what has led to Jaden Ivey being known as maybe not the best defender in the world, but he athletically definitely has the tools to be a good defender, which makes me think that in his third year, now that he's got a little bit better understanding of schemes and where to be and all that type of stuff, he can probably showcase those defensive tools that he has. By defensive tools, I just mean his ability to obviously be faster than the guy he's guarding, his ability to turn his hips. He has the wingspan to play defense on, pretty much guards of any size. So I think overall there might be some huge jumps in his defense, just knowing where to be at the right time and then combining that with more confidence that's instilled in him, along with the tools that he has athletically from his wingspan and speed. I think that there could be a huge jump in his defense, which would just lead to a huge breakout in general. So the fourth reason is going to be kind of the same thought process, but on the offensive side of the ball. His rookie year, he averaged 3.2 turnovers per game, and his sophomore year, he averaged 2.5 turnovers per game. And I think that the turnovers are only going to get better. There's been lots of cases early in Jaden Ivey's career where he gets into the paint and seems like he maybe leaves his feet without a plan, which will lead to turnovers quite often, where he'll try and kick out at the last second and either there's a defender in the way or it's just a bad pass. And I just think that type of stuff comes with young guards, especially when they're handed the keys of the offense and asked to go make plays. I think that's just kind of natural. You'll have a really hard time finding rookie guards and even a lot of times sophomore guards that don't turn over the ball at decently high clips. And almost always that stuff improves. So I think that Jaden Ivey is just going to be a little bit more comfortable, which will lead to reduced turnovers. I think his decision-making process will be better for him, especially when he's going to the hoop. I think that the game will slow down for him, as it does for almost every player who's going into their third year in the NBA. And that kind of leads me to my final reason, and that is just the fact that he's over his sophomore slump. This is nothing new, guys. This is not out of the ordinary where a player has a pretty decent rookie year and then in their sophomore year they either slightly regress or don't really improve, and then in their third year they just break out. They're more comfortable. Third year in the NBA seems to be kind of a magic number where players are starting to understand the league, the game, and the game slowing down for them, and just everything starts to improve in that third year. If you go look at Basketball Reference or any sort of like career log for a lot of guys, you'll notice that it's almost the most common year to have a huge leap forward is the third year. A lot of guys have that huge leap forward in their third year in all sorts of categories, whether it be shooting, turnover reduction, points per game, you name it. It's not uncommon whatsoever. Matter of fact, I don't have the data on this, but just by me sitting there and watching so many careers unfold in the NBA, it seems like the third year is that magic number where a lot of players go from good to great, or players go from mediocre to serviceable. It's just a really, really big year for improvement for whatever reason. The sophomore slump is a real thing. I think Jaden Ivey was put in a lot of circumstances that made his maybe even bigger than a lot of players. And I think this third year for him, the sky is the limit. It's obvious he has all the potential in the world. And I think a lot of Pistons fans are forgetting about that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you with y'all soon.